Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutam Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha. Namaste everyone. Thank you Indica Moksha for this wonderful opportunity to share a few thoughts from those incidents in Adi Shankara's life and his works that have personally inspired me, and that I believe there are lots of lessons to learn. When we started in 2020, I just wanted to quickly recap the goals with which we started this. It was to celebrate the life and works of Shankara, to catalyze global awareness, and to create curiosity among seekers to learn more. Because today, not many young people know exactly who Adi Shankara is. They may have heard about some of his works, they may be chanting some of his stotras, but knowing Adi Shankara in his entirety is something that is yet to reach the billions of people around the world. So I just want to start by thanking Indica Moksha team for making this festival happen and inviting me to share my thoughts today. So what is my inspiration for Adi Shankara? I describe Adi Shankara as my role model and my mentor. A couple of years ago, when I introduced this festival, I said, I see Adi Shankara as an entrepreneur and a founder. He is visionary, he is passionate, and very persistent towards his mission. I saw him as a brilliant inventor. He re-energized the idea of Advaita, and that brought unity with words and will, not weapons. Today we see a lot of potential unity efforts, but with weapons. And Adi Shankara did it with just words and will, and we'll talk more about it. I saw him as a knowledge contributor, so many commentaries and bhashyams and treatises and original works. I saw him as a tireless leader. 2,500 years ago, walking across India 6 times is not a joke at all. It is humanly impossible. At the same time, he was a humanist, love for others, servant leader, reverence for his mother. Very disciplined, because you cannot accomplish so much in a lifespan of 32 years if you don't live a very disciplined life. And finally, I saw him as a mentor. He inspired millions of scholars over these 2,500 plus years and leaders across multiple centuries, and which is why I said I saw him as my mentor. But today, I'm saying, okay, seeing Adi Shankara in this light is one thing, but what can I learn from his life? So today I'm going to talk about 10 incidents from his life, and what did I learn, and what is it that I want all the modern day entrepreneurs and youth to learn. And many of these incidents are fairly well known. For example, at a very young age, Adi Shankara took the sanyasa to launch his mission. Everybody knows that, and we'll talk more exactly what can we learn from that incident. He walked 1,500 kilometers, to almost close to 1,000 miles to search his guru. He gave an incredibly creative response when someone, a voice from inside the cave, said, "Who are you?" He won debates across the country. He had this monumental debate with Mandana Misr. Now, throughout this festival, you heard different aspects of these particular life incidents and works of Adi Shankara. So I won't go into the details of exactly what happened that day. And those of you who don't know anything about this monumental debate with Mandana Misr, this is what I mean by create curiosity. Go learn. Find out exactly what the debate was all about. Everything is so incredibly recorded in history, and there have been talks on this festival expanding on this particular debate. He produced so many works. We are celebrating this month-long festival because there's so much to expand on and reflect on and learn. He walked across the expanse of Bharath, the India country, 6 times, up and down to achieve his mission. Everybody knows about that. It's called the Shankar Digvijay Yatra. And also the episode with Chandala, the so-called untouchable that Adi Shankara got to face one day, and what happened in that incident. All these incidents are well recorded. There are talks, thousands of them on YouTube. So if there is one thing, become curious. Young people, entrepreneurs, anyone, this is the life to be celebrated all over the world. And the more you become curious, the more you will become even more curious to learn. Then we have the extemporaneous Kanakadhara Stothram, when he went to an old lady's house for his morning bhiksha and saw the utter poverty that she was in, and what did he do out of compassion. And lastly, he established 4 mathams in the 4 corners of India. Everybody knows about these 10 different aspects. What I'm going to do today is take each one of them and why I was inspired by that incident and what is the lesson from that particular incident, which is why with the name of Adi Shankara, a stotram that I chant, that he has written, always brings the so-called joyful tears, because he has personally touched me in every aspect of my life, and this is what I want to share today. So let's start with this very first incident when he took sannyasa at a very young age. Now we all know he was taking a bath in the river, and an alligator or crocodile caught his leg, and he was going to die. And he was asking his mother, allow me to take sannyasa at this young age, otherwise I'm going to die. His mother said, yes, I accept. And then the crocodile supposedly has left his leg, and then Adi Shankara took the sannyasa on his mission. So what can we learn from that? We have to have a determination to achieve your life's mission. Okay, we will all have alligators to stop us from doing it. Okay, now who is your alligator? Now I speak to young people all over the world, and sometimes the alligator is this very comfortable 9-to-5 job. Everything is nice. You can come home at 5 o'clock, watch TV, and then go back to work the next day. It is very convenient. Sometimes that becomes your hurdle to take on something bigger than your job itself. Sometimes it's the fear of losing. It's the fear of being ridiculed, or it could be the society or the family or friends, people saying, no, you should not do this. This is not for you. You should think about your family and your children, and should not take all these risks. Or there may be other reasons. So very, very important lesson that I have learned that I would like all of you to sort of walk away with is having the determination. Pick a cause and go after it. Get rid of all the alligators in your life. Now, I've written an article about what entrepreneur really means to me. It's not a French word. It is a Sanskrit word. It has roots in Sanskrit. I call it Antar Prerana, the inner fire. So every one of you listening today, find that inner fire and let that fire guide you for the rest of your life. We are here on this planet not to just study, eat, sleep, and then disappear. We are here to do something positive, something impactful in our life. And that fire is inside. And sometimes we, hide that fire behind the fear or, external pressures and so on. In fact, Steve Jobs said, don't live the life of others. And Mark Twain said, everybody else is taken, just be yourself. So there are all these modern ways to tell each one of us to pick a cause and go after it. Incident number 2. He walked 1,514 kilometers. That's close to 1,000 miles, across the country to find his guru. Now, imagine 2,500 years ago, no cars, no airplanes, no nothing, just walking across through forests to make this happen, to find his guru. Now, the actual incident is he found the guru. He was inside a cave. His guru was actually, meditating in the cave, and that cave still exists. You see the picture here near Omkareshwar. So what did I learn? Having a mentor is so important. The company I founded is Mentor Cloud. The book I wrote is The Art of Mentoring. So every one of you today, find your mentor or mentors. Surround yourself with what I call your personal board of mentors, who really cares for you and your success, who guides you in the right direction. That's exactly what Govindapada did. Told Adi Shankara, his young disciple, what he should do next. Accepted him as his mentee/disciple, who can open new doors. That's what Govindapada did. He said, Shankara, the next job for you is to go to the city of Varanasi and start sharing your wisdom. And those of you that are interested, my book is available. I'm happy to send you a free copy. So you can go to our website, but learn the art of mentoring and find and engage with suitable mentors from today. Because when you find the right mentors, you can accelerate towards your goals. You can accelerate your learning versus you sitting in a room and just reading books and watching videos. You can accelerate it when you have a human who cares for you and opens your thinking and possibilities. When Adi Shankara reached the cave, I told you the Guru was inside, and Guru from inside asked, "Who are you?" And that led Adi Shankara's fantastic response. Mano buddhyahankara chitta ninaham na cha srotra jihve na cha grana netre na cha vyoma bhumi na tejo na vayu chidananda rupaha shivoham shivoham. What a thoughtful response to this. Most people would say, "Sir, I'm Adi Shankara." Adi Shankara who? I am coming from so and so place. Why did you come? All these questions would have come. It's unnecessary conversation. But Adi Shankara gives this brilliant response. I am neither the mind, nor the intellect, nor the ego, nor the mind. I am existence absolute. Now, this is called Nirvana Shatakam. There are 6 verses, and I've given a link here. So every one of you go and read this. Now, what did I learn from it? Build the right message for yourself and your company and your career. Today at Mentor Cloud, we work regularly to figure out what is it. Are we the mentoring platform? Are we the technology platform? Who are we? Because just saying I am Ravi and this is not as powerful as making your message about the cause. And that's what I learned from this. When somebody asks next time, "Who are you?" don't just give your name and your degrees and your skills, because your message and your story is more important than who you are. Let the world be intrigued by your mission. Let them find out who is this person who has such a crazy mission. Today, when somebody comes to me and said, "I am on a mission to impact 100 million people with mentoring," they don't need to know my name. They will ask me eventually. So remember, let your audience be intrigued by what you are after, and then the details can follow. So this is what I learned from this fantastic Nirvana Shatakam incident when his guru asked him, "Who are you?" And when he heard such a beautiful response, what did Govindapada do? Came out of the cave and said, "Shankara, I accept you as my disciple." And that changed history forever. Number 4, everybody knows he has won multiple debates across India. Now, Adi Shankara took the route of a non-violent approach to unity. He went to every town and said, okay, at that time there were 70 plus different ways of life. Some people call it religion, some people call it spirituality, but there were 70 different ways. People were fighting. They were saying, this God is better than the other. Somebody said you don't have to even pray to a God at all. You just have to meditate. And somebody said you have to be in the forest. So many different ways. India was in a chaos. He came and said, okay, there is only one way. Oneness. Advaita. And did he use weapons? No. He just said, okay, let's have a debate, a conversation. And if you win, I will convert to your way of living. If I win, you should follow me and my way of living. What a simple principle. Simple principle. Now, today, when you want to, captivate the world, I call it, entrepreneurs, we have this thing called the go-to-market strategy. Now, whether you are a working professional, working for an organization, you should consider yourself as an entrepreneur, because you are the entrepreneur of your own life. Okay, entrepreneur does not mean You start your own company, you have your own business. It is definitely the case, but you can take your life and consider it as your entrepreneurial venture. So what's your go-to-market strategy? Adi Shankara's was debating. Okay, how do I bring this concept of Advaita to unify the world? Now, you will get lots of no's. Now, in Adi Shankara's case, he won all the debates. That's just brilliant. If only I could get a yes from every customer I talk to, that will be amazing. But that's not the case in the real world. You will get lots of no's. How will you react? Now, stay on facts. No need to get emotional. You have to be willing to learn and pivot along the way. So when you are going on your journey, when you get a no, you should say, what can I learn from it? Because it's not about you. Again, if you study Adi Shankara's works, he expands this concept of these so-called oneness, or the mistake we all do called adhyasa, thinking that you and your body are the same. The driver and the car being the same. They are not the same, and you can learn more about it. So no, in my mind, is next one, or knowledge. Now, I put Sadhguru's picture here because he changed my mindset. Everybody talks about, capture the market. Capture is such a violent word. He introduced to me the word captivate. Today, it's all about captivating the world with your mission, with your objectives, with your authenticity, with your purity, with your determination. What capture? We are seeing the perils of capturing, one country capturing the other. Our Sanatana Dharma, the heritage of India, we have never captured anyone. There's no need to. We have captivated the world. People came from all over the world to study in India. No need to capture anyone. So captivate the world with a fantastic message. Now, it's very, very important to turn every interaction and incident into something positive, because one of my good friends and my mentors, Rajesh, tells me this: every incident, there are two outcomes. Either you get the outcome that you are expecting, or you learn something from it. So there really no other outcome. Either you get what you want, or you learn something from it. So that's what you should look at every incident in our life. Now, the monumental debate with Mandana Misr. Again, Adi Shankara was told there is this Pandit in this town, Mahishmati, and you have to go and win over him. And again, you can learn more about the debate. And we have actually a talk by Sri Venkatraman about the debating principles he uses from Adi Shankara's life in Supreme Court today. There is so much written about the debating philosophy. So when this debate was going on, the two sort of debaters were given two fresh garlands of flowers. Both had the garlands, and Ubhaya Bharati, the woman who was the judge, he was one of the debaters' wife. Now, the reason she actually had those two garlands were that whichever garland becomes weaker or less fragrant is the loser. I mean, it was just amazing. Now, what happens is, when you are in a debate or any conversation, when you get emotional, when you get angry, your body's temperature increases. This is one way to look at it. And because of that, the flowers can become less fragrant over time. So I encourage all of you, and I try to practice that myself, to be a calm, assertive, and a confident leader. Because when you're calm, your brain works better. It's exactly what Adi Shankara did. If the history says Mandana Misr was getting very anxious because he was not winning it. His arguments were not going through. Now, we can also communicate better when we are calm. And Adi Shankara was very confident, very calm, very assertive. And we also listen better. Now, 2 weeks ago, I was in Vancouver at the TED 2022, and I saw this picture on the wall. The quieter you become, the more you can hear. That's exactly what I'm sure Adi Shankara did. Today, when you're running organizations or when you're running teams, be a great listener, be that calm listener, and learn what is being said. Because when you're speaking, you're not hearing. It's just impossible. Our brain doesn't work that way. And interestingly, the word listen, if you shift all the letters, it actually spells silent too. So be that silent listener and be that calm, assertive, and confident leader. That's what we can learn from this. When you're calm, your body temperature is also normal, and your reaction is much more mature and balanced. Producing so many original works, Bhagavad Gita Bhashyam, Sivananda Lahari, Saundarya Lahari. Now, those of you who are not from the Indian heritage, the number of works that Adi Shankara created in a matter of 32 years is just mind-boggling. So I encourage every one of you to write, to speak, to tweet, or to coo. I recently got introduced to coo. Share your thoughts. Get your thoughts out. It doesn't have to be perfect. Perfection happens over time. And I believe wisdom, when you share it, it gets amplified. It gets purified in your own mind. Here is one of those things that there are only few things in life that when you share, it still stays with you and grows on you. That's wisdom and love, and of course a joke. Every time you say a joke again, you laugh and other people laugh too. Wisdom is like that. When you teach and share it and share it and share it, it gets clearer and clearer in your head, and you still keep it. So my recommendation to all of you is be a mentor for at least one human being. Share what you know with them. And even if one human gets inspired by a wise insight from you or from your life experience, that's real impact. We are here to make impact. We're not here to just have a party and then disappear, right? So it's amazing that Adi Shankara has created so many original works in a lifespan of 32 years. Number 7, walking across the country of Bharath 6 times. Now this is walking, guys, 2,500 years ago. It is frequently referred to as the Shankara Digvijaya Yatra. And this was the Bharat in those days. The entire region of Afghanistan and Pakistan and parts of Turkey and Asia was all considered the land of Bharat. And Adi Shankara walked across to pursue his life's mission of oneness. And so as entrepreneurs, as young people, we have to be persistent and stay the course. Cannot give up in the middle, right? That's what Adi Shankara did. It's not humanly possible to walk across this massive land 6 times, meeting people, winning debates, and then continuing to write treatises, original works, showing compassion. That shows that his persistence is something that we can learn from, and staying the course is very important. And of course, you cannot do it alone. You have to continuously build a great team around you, whether it is Indica Moksha, whether it is Mental Cloud, or whether it is any massive mission that you have taken up. You need a team around you. And again, another role model of mine, Swami Vivekananda's favorite quote or famous quote is, "Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached." Same thing. Be persistent. Stay the course. It won't be easy. And if it's easy, everybody will do it. Remember this. If it's easy, everybody will do it. But you want to do something that everybody is not, willing to take that risk. Work hard and do it. Such people will, live on for a long, long time, and their work will continue to inspire for generations, which is essentially what Adi Shankara's life tells us. Number 8, The story is this: the episodic interaction. Adi Shankara was once going on his morning Bhiksha and the tour, and he comes across a untouchable with dogs, and he asks him to move away. He says, "Hey, I am the learned person, and please make way for me." And this person asks, "Who should move? Me, this body, or the soul inside me?" And then the conversation is just brilliant conversation. Now, some of you who may not have taken the time to understand the Indian scriptures, 90% of them are conversations. Whether it is Yoga Vasishtam, whether it is Bhagavad Gita, whether it's Uddhava Gita, or these are all conversations. Wisdom is shared and revealed during conversations. Every one of you should have good conversations week after week. Not only about politics, not about movies. Find someone that you don't work with every day and have a conversation. They had a great conversation. Go find out. What you see in the movies is sort of a cinematic version of this, but in reality, they actually had a conversation. The chandala asked Adi Shankara, "Who should move? Me, this body, or the person, the Atma inside me, the soul inside me?" Right? Should the car move or the driver move, or the car with the driver in it? Right? That's the analogy. So he was very humble. He said, "My God, this is amazing. Who should move?" They had a conversation. So it's a lesson that I have learned that I would like all of you to take away is be humble and always be ready to correct ourselves. Nothing wrong to be wrong at times. I have been wrong, launching the Mental Cloud company. I have been wrong in so many different ways in the life, but that's how the life is. It's okay. Learn and grow. Learn and grow and keep going. And again, the Indian scriptures talk about how we all can be a learner. Just like the honeybee. The honeybee goes around, whether the flower is on the floor, on the ground, or whether the flower is part of a beautiful garden, it picks up the honey and walks away. Doesn't care about the thorns around the flower. So be willing to learn from anyone. Adi Shankara did exactly that. He learned so much from that interaction, and you can read up and learn more about it. Now today we talk about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, skin color doesn't matter. Martin Luther King said, "Judge a human not by the color of the skin, but by the strength of the character." These are all things that came from Adi Shankara's way of looking at life. Skin color doesn't matter. Looks don't matter. What matters is the soul within us, the human within us, and the message or the wisdom that we carry with us. That's what matters. Today, when organizations are struggling to make their workplaces diverse, have equity, and include everybody, that's what it is. We have to get beyond the color of the skin, beyond the looks of people, but look at the humanness, look at the wisdom that each of us, every person in the workplace or in society brings to create a more harmonious place. It's extremely important to understand this aspect of the Indian heritage. It is respecting everybody for who they are, because that is how a society operates, that everybody has a role to play. They may not look the same, they may not act the same, they may not speak the same, but everybody has a role to play to make the society thrive. Even if you take a simple temple, for example, there are people who do the daily rituals inside the sanctum sanctorum. There are people who keep the temple functioning from a financial perspective. There are people who to make the temple look clean. It's nothing different than a company has a chief executive officer, a chief marketing officer, a chief product officer, a chief financial officer. Everybody has a role to play to keep an organization going, and everybody has a role to play to keep this world going. So we have to be humble and be willing to correct ourselves in case we come across a concept that is really not right. And we all know at a very young age, Adi Shankara went on his daily morning bhiksha, went to this old lady's house and said, Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi, please give me some food. And the old lady was extremely poor. She didn't have anything. She only had what is called a gooseberry. And that's what she offered him. And Shankara was moved by that, right? And recently, Dr. Sri Venkatraman, who is a fantastic judge in the Indian Supreme Court, a brilliant man who a year ago talked about debating, because that's what he said, how he used Adi Shankara's lessons in his everyday debates in the court, right? He said, I cannot get angry. I cannot afford to get angry because then I lose. So he talked about the lessons he learned from Adi Shankara's debating philosophy. And a couple of weeks ago, he talked about compassion. And he defined compassion is not pity. Pity is somebody somewhere is hurting, I'll just feel bad and move on. Somebody even closer, you feel sympathetic. Somebody even closer, you understand. But he said compassion is beyond all of that. And that's exactly how he described. The whole talk is on Adi Shankara as an epitome of compassion, right? What is compassion? He said, compassion is not just feel, but take action. As human beings, we can take action too. It can be a small thing, give maybe a 1 rupee or just lend a helping hand. But just feeling pity alone is not enough. My spiritual mentor today, Dr. Shanmukha Sharma Garu, told me once, Ravi, it's a combination of daya and dakshinyam. Now, those of you who may not know Sanskritam or not from Indian heritage, daya means having the feeling for the other individual. But that's not enough. That's not enough. Dakshinya means actually helping. And that's what compassion is. In Sanskritam, it's called Avyaja Karuna Murti. Means having the ability to feel and take action. Today, when I come across someone that I really feel for them, I do something. Either give my time, give my knowledge, open a door for them, send them a donation, do something. It is extremely important not to start, because there's enough people who say, oh, I feel so sorry. That's not good enough. If you want to be really the good human, the compassionate human. Now, compassion and Avyaj Karuna Murti are not the same. Again, Venkatraman talks about it at length. So it is the ability to feel and the ability to take action to help that individual in whatever capacity you have. That's what I've learned from this. Having true compassion for fellow human beings and helping in whatever way I can. And I hope all of you will do the same as well. Next time, when you see someone in need, feel and do. And lastly, he established 4 mathams. I call them CoEs, the Centers of Excellence. And the Joshi Math in the north, the Dwarka Math in the west, the Puri Matham. So Matham is an institution. Think of it as a university, as a place for knowledge to be collected and disseminated. And the Sringeri Matham in the south. Look at the thinking. Thousands of years ago, 4 corners of the country, north, west, south, east. That shows a vision. That shows that he had a plan or a vision to let his mission outlast his own life. That's what companies should do today. Build a leadership team, mentor them, and make sure that the mission, the company that you are running, outlasts you. There are companies like Merck Group and Marriott International, Infosys and Tatas and Birlas, all these great companies. Why do they survive generation after generation? It's because of being able to build that leadership team. And sometimes people refer to as succession planning. You should plan your succession. Most families do it within their family, but doing it at an organizational level doing it at a national level is just incredibly inspiring to me. And you can learn more about how he took the people from the north and made them the heads of the mutt in the south. How he took people from Dwaraka and made them the heads of the Matam in Puri. He knew that you had to cross-pollinate to bring people from across the country to create the diversity and inclusive leadership. It's just brilliant. And the establishing of the four matams, and I'm sure there is a talk on this particular topic. On the east, it was called the Govardhana Peetham, and the vision or the so-called Mahavakya. Now, every company has a vision statement. In the east, it was consciousness is Brahman, Prajnanam Brahma. In the south, in Sringeri, it was I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, I am Atma Brahma. Look at this. Every matam had a leader, and all the four leaders. There are talks about his disciples, Padmapada, Sureshwaracharya, Hasta Malakacharya, and Totakacharya. Four mentees, four disciples. He gave them each a mission statement, gave them each one Veda. Now, there are four Vedas that Indian heritage is proud to offer to the world: the Rig Veda, the Yajur Veda, the Sama Veda, and Atharva Veda. So he gave a mission statement to all of them. He told them which Veda, which Sampradaya, means which tradition to follow for that particular matam. And then today, thousands of years later, these institutions are standing so strong, continuing the work of this Advaita, the oneness. And there is a lot more to do, but the idea of doing this so many thousands of years ago is something that we can learn from. Build a leadership team, mentor them, and let your mission outlast you, because we are not permanent. Adi Shankara also ended his avatar. Everybody has to go one day, but let your work continue. So let me quickly recap, and we'll take some questions. So the story of the alligator taught me, and I hope you walk away with the same insight and lesson, to have determination. Don't let the alligators hold you back. There are lots of alligators, my friends, that will hold you back. Whether you are going to college today, whether you have just graduated and about to start your job, whether you are an entrepreneur, social entrepreneur, retired, doesn't matter. Live your life with a specific purpose and don't let anyone stop you. Number 2, his journey to find his guru. Find your mentor. Find out who can accelerate your mission, accelerate your own career goals and life goals, and have a clear messaging. And there are so many books, so many coaches teaching how to message. I go through refining my message, regularly. When people ask me, what do I do? When people ask, what does Mentor Cloud do? Very important to message it and be. I shared a short, verse from the Nirvana Shatakam that Shankara replied, and when his guru asked from the inside, who are you? The mentor has to walk towards you. There's a beautiful video by Indra Nooyi, the former chairman and CEO of Pepsi. She said, be the best mentee that mentors go after you. And there's a whole YouTube video where she talks about how mentors, executives across Pepsi came looking for her to mentor her, to really develop her into the chairman and the CEO that she is today. That's all because of how you attract them. That's what Govindapada did. He walked out from the cave. I found my mentee. I found my disciple. Now captivate the world, not capture. Capture is not part of a Sanatana Dharma. It should not be part of any Dharma. This is a completely alien concept to where we all come from. And that's the true Sanatana Dharma, is to captivate the world. Let the world get attracted. Be that magnet, not capture. That's very, violent word. Thanks to Sadhguru for introducing this new word into my vocabulary. And we talked about debating, how to be that calm, assertive, and confident leader. so that when we are calm, we can listen better, communicate better, and also lead better. And regularly sharing our thoughts through whatever means, being a mentor, writing blogs or books or tweeting, share your wisdom, because you're not going to take it with you when you leave. It's going to go underground or into ashes. That's what I tell in my talks here. So your wisdom might as well share it, right? And be persistent, stay the course. I talked about Adi Shankara's, six times walking across the country, 3 round trips, as they say. Staying the course, overcoming obstacles, overcoming hurdles, being disciplined, and being persistent. Because persistence is what creates great movements, great organizations, and great lives that become the role models for others. And of course, the importance of being humble. I talked about the Chandala incident, that where Adi Shankara, being the scholar of the day, also took the opportunity to learn and change his way of thinking. And having compassion, the Kanakadhara Stothram that I talked about. Don't stop at the Stothram. Yes, chant it. Definitely chant it, so that may, the God and the universe, bless you with a lot of wealth and prosperity. But don't stop there. Give it away. Have compassion. I said, don't stop at daya or pity. Take action. That's what the Sanskritam word is, dakshinyam. And finally, let your mission outlast you by having a succession plan. Whether you're running an organization or running a team, you're not going to be permanent. And we can learn from Adi Shankara how he has established these 4 institutions with a clear mission statement, with a clear leader, a methodology, and a process that has survived thousands of years. And these institutions, my friends, they still exist even today. You can go to India and go to the Joshi Mutt or the Puri Mutt or the Dwarka Mutt or Sringeri Mutt. It's unbelievable how these institutions have, stood over time. India has been conquered, occupied, wars, temples have been burnt, libraries have been burnt. The Nalanda library is supposed to have burnt for years. Still, the wisdom remains. The institutions have remained. The essence of Sanatana Dharma has remained. The soul has remained. It's because Adi Shankara has established this very powerful Guru Sishya Parampara, human to human, which is the essence of what I do today. Because anything can be destroyed, but not what's in our mind. And that's what keeps our Indian heritage, Sanatana Dharma, alive and thriving. Chidananda Rupaha, Shivoham, Shivoham. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you very much for this opportunity to share what I have learned from my role model and my mentor's life, which I hope you will at least take 1 or 2 that inspired me, and I hope they inspire you and guide you for the rest of your life. Thank you so much. Being disciplined, being mindful that one day we're going to go away very, very quickly. And we saw this over the last 2 years. The fact that time is not our biggest friend right now. Health is not guaranteed. Your existence is not guaranteed. So I live by, why am I here? I missed death twice. You can read some of these stories online. So I'm here for a purpose. So every day I wake up in the morning, I try to be very, very effective, efficient, and make sure that my work is impactful. When I'm interacting with my team members, my mentors, every aspect of this is a lesson I've derived from Adi Shankara, and I'm happy to answer anything extra beyond that. Srinivas Rao Garu talked about, yes, I wouldn't call it commandments. It was never a commandment. Indian heritage is not about commandment. Nobody tells us what to do. That's the only reason why, in spite of attacks and wars, and India remains, because we decide what we do. It is a heritage completely out of introspection. we have 300 million gods. What a beautiful concept that is. Everybody is a god. A tiger is a god. A stone is a god. So you can destroy temples. I mean, we don't want to. I have a whole project on preserving and rejuvenating our temples. But the reason the heritage survived 10,000 years is because it's in the soul and the heart and the minds of people. The sutras is a very good word. Well, one of the bhashyams that Adi Shankara wrote is a bhashyam on Brahma Sutras, and Brahma Sutras are just unbelievable. Whoever those of you who publish articles, there's something called abstract. When Einstein produced his paper, his abstract was E equal to mc square. That's it. And everybody thought, oh my God, the shortest abstract that everybody ever written. But Adi Shankara has written, or the Vedic literature has written this, abstracts called Brahma Sutras. The first one is, Tato Brahma Jignasa. That's all, 7 or 8 letters. Tato means then. Brahma Jignasa means the search for the ultimate truth begins. Okay. Then means what? After what? There's a whole process of, going beyond our senses, beyond ourselves, beyond this world. Tato means then. Brahma Jignasa means begins. So Vedic literature is filled with these sutras for us to draw from, for us to reflect. And the pity of today's world, which is what the Indica Moksha and myself and all of us are trying to do, is to bring this thinking back into our regular education. This is not about God. This is about living your life to the full potential. So Vedic literature is riddled with stories and sutras. One of our oldest social reformers and authors, Veda Vyasa, has given us so much treasures because it was not documented. So he documented the Vedas. Then he said, what? Nobody may take time to read the Vedas. He created 18 Puranas. Then he created the Bhagavatam. So there are many, many aspects of Indian scriptures. You just have to pick one and you can live the entire life drawing from it and never feel short of sutras and sort of, guiding lessons. Honestly, this is something I need to resolve in the world. There's no reason to fight over it, but there are 2 schools of thought. Who was asking the question? There are certain scholars who say he walked on the planet about 1234 years ago. In fact, this Shankar Jayanti, when we started this particular 3rd Global Festival of Oneness, is 1234th birthday, 1234. It's a very interesting number, but there are other scholars that attribute 2532 as his life. But you know what? Who cares, right? Recently, I was giving a talk. Did Krishna really talk to Arjuna? Did that really happen? I mean, in the middle of a war, can Lord Krishna the mentor give a message of 770 verses to Arjuna? I told this person, why do you care? That is a debate for another day. Go figure out what he said and learn from it and enhance your life. Don't get stuck in this ideological debates. It's fun. Spend 5 minutes and move on. Now, so there is a debate. I hope in my life I can try and resolve it. It's been one of those things but it does not matter. Learn. But the documentation of his life is accepted. There is something called Madhavi Shankara Vijayam, and there are many, many Shankara Vijayams. So nobody argues about the life and works of Adi Shankara. So let's focus on that.
Yes. So take home is most important rather than the timing.
It doesn't matter.
And you described take home in a fantastic way, taking the incidents in the life of Adi Shankara. Thank you, Ravi Shankarji. Thank you, and God bless you in your future journey.
Thank you all for the opportunity. There will be a recording of this, but thank you, Indica Moksha, for this wonderful opportunity. Namaste.